There are several procedures that are being taken, one of which is adopting the emergency law after finalizing all the relevant legal and constitutional procedures for the next 3 months. We're announcing the emergency law for one reason: to protect the country.
The emergency law is extended every 3 months, but it's been 3 years to the day since it was first adopted.
Without the emergency law, the armed forces will not be able to help in the fight against terrorism or secure civilian installations such as banks, embassies and churches. The emergency law allows for searching, arresting and monitoring terror suspects without a warrant. The law also allows to track calls, communications and bank accounts of suspected terror groups to stop any funding for purchasing weapons and recruiting new militants.
ISIL and Muslim Brotherhood-linked groups, however, have continued their assaults in spite of the emergency law. Most of their attacks are on military checkpoints or camps in the desert area of Rafah and Sheikh Zuwayd on the borders with Gaza. But there have been operations on civilians, mainly Copts, such as churches in Alexandria and Tanta, killing 44 people last April, or a bus carrying the worshippers to a convent in July. The latest is the Oasis attack, which killed 16 soldiers last week. Has the emergency law not been effective against extremism?
The emergency law is not meant to stop terrorism. It's a tool to help the officers in their missions. There is a long list of successful operations against extremists. Nearly every day there are arrests and bombardments of extremist hideouts, confiscating their equipment and arsenal, but they go unnoticed. Everyone and the media really concentrate where there is an attack by militants.
As Egypt enters an election year, would the terrorist attacks change the course of voting against Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi? He was elected into office in 2014 on a promise of retaining security.
There is a lot of improvement in security in the streets compared to 3 years ago. We feel much safer under the current President al-Sisi.
He's an army man and has experience in fighting terrorism. I will fight for him again. It would have been much worse.
And numbers speak for themselves. According to the official statistics agency CAPMAS, the number of terrorist attacks has been reduced by over 75% since the emergency law was first adopted in 2014. But this does not hide the fact that terrorism still exists, and the president himself has warned that it will take time to eradicate extremism from the country. Yes, Hakim for CGTN, Cairo.